Before moving to our next story, let's take a step back to the year 1944. The world was still in the final phase of the World War II. At that critical moment, leaders from major economies gathered in a quiet town in New Hampshire for what became known as the Bretton Woods Conference. Their goal was simple but powerful: to design a new global financial system. What they created shaped the modern economy. The US dollar became the center of global trade. Other currencies were tied to it, and the dollar itself was backed by gold. That system established American financial dominance for decades. But today, nearly 80 years later, that dominance is being quietly tested. Not collapsing, not disappearing overnight, but slowly and steadily being questioned. There are three major signals pointing to this. First signal: doubts emerging inside the United States itself. In several US states including Utah, Georgia, and Arizona, lawmakers are proposing laws that will allow gold and silver to be used as legal forms of payment alongside the dollar. They are not trying to replace the dollar, but they are clearly preferring alternatives. Their concern is straightforward: inflation. Over time, rising prices have reduced the purchasing power of the dollar. Savings don't stretch as far as they used to. In contrast, gold has historically held its value over long periods, and recently, gold prices have risen significantly, attracting even more attention. However, there is a major issue. Gold is not practical for everyday transactions. Its value can fluctuate sharply in the short term, which makes it unreliable for pricing goods like food, transport, or services. So while the idea reflects real concern, it also shows something deeper: a growing lack of confidence even within the country that issues the dollar. So what's the second signal? Pressure building in the global oil market. The United Arab Emirates is reportedly exploring options in case access to US dollars become restricted. This is significant because of how global oil trade works. Since the 1970s, oil has largely been priced and turned in US dollars under what is known as the petrodollar system. This system was reinforced through agreement between the United States and major oil producers like Saudi Arabia. That is how it works. Countries need dollars to buy oil, so they hold dollar reserves. Those reserves are often reinvested into US assets like government bonds. This creates a powerful financial cycle that strengthens the dollar globally. But now the system is facing pressure. Countries in the Gulf are beginning to consider alternative currencies, such as China's yuan, for trade settlements, not necessarily because they want to abandon the dollar, but because they want a backup plan. Concerns over regional instability, trade disruptions, and financial restriction are forcing them to rethink their dependence on a single currency. When oil trade begins to diversify, it has global consequences. Third signal: central banks are shifting their reserves. For decades, countries stored much of their wealth in US Treasury bonds, but now there is a noticeable change. Central banks are increasingly buying gold. In fact, gold has recently overtaken US Treasuries as one of the most preferred reserves assets globally. Why is this happening? One major reason is geopolitical risk. After events linked to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, many countries saw how quickly financial assets can be frozen or restricted due to sanctions. Holding reserves in dollars now comes with a political dimension. Gold, on the other hand, is seen as neutral. It's not controlled by any one country and cannot be easily blocked or sanctioned. This makes it increasingly attractive in an uncertain world. We've seen similar challenges before. In 2000, Iraq shifted its oil pricing away from the dollar. In 2009, Libya proposed a gold-backed system for African trade, and countries like Venezuela have tried to bypass the dollar due to sanctions. Today, the BRICS group is also promoting trade in local currencies among its members. So what we are witnessing right now is the beginning of a major shift away from the dollar, or simply a strategy by countries to reduce risk and protect themselves in an unpredictable global environment. The truth is, there is no clear answer yet, but one thing is certain: the global financial system is no longer as stable. or as predictable as it once was. And that uncertainty may shape the future of money in ways we are only beginning to understand.